Hey guys, so I'm making this video because for you guys to know, if any of you guys are in college and get stressed out about some of the class assignments, my advice to you is not to worry about it, because at this point, at least the community college that I am attending, there's a point where you can drop a class and it can count as an early withdrawal status. So what that means is like you can still drop the class if you feel that if you feel that that class isn't beneficial to you. I don't know how that works in other community colleges, but at least for me, the community college in which I am attending right now, you can take early withdrawals if you feel that that class isn't right for you. Because I'm gonna let you know of a story that happened to me this morning. So as you know, today's Saturday, but of course when you start college, you know, you gotta do some assignments on the weekends. I mean, that's just how college is, and, you know, and that's what I came to learn. I mean, obviously, I've had homework even in high school on the weekends, so I'm already kind of used to that. But this is something that I've experienced just in an online course, with a particular, just the way, I mean, I'm not going to use this professor's name, but this professor, I feel like their grading process didn't sit right with me, or didn't work for me, especially, just me specifically. I'm not saying that, I'm not putting that into other people's mouths, because, you know, for me, you know, that was just my experience. So, how this works is, it was a introduction to government class, and so, like, you know, I consider myself to be, you know, of course, that's a high school graduation requirement, so I already did a semester of that in high school already, and of course that was a requirement, so everybody took it. So, you know, I found that subject to be very interesting. Of course, I didn't want to go into like any kind of governmental type position as a career path, but you know, I was just very interested in the subject, so I kind of wanted to learn a little bit more, so that's why I wanted to choose that class. But for personal reasons, this semester in my community college experience, I'm taking remote and online classes. So the difference between remote and online classes is, remote means you're doing it over the computer, but you have weekly Zoom sessions, like a certain number of times a week. And an online class is you just do everything on a specific site. Well, actually, regardless if you're taking online or remote classes, if you're doing classes over the computer, you do all your classes on this one specific site. So, but the one difference between remote and online classes is, like, with an online class, you get no form of live instruction over in that course. So what that means is all the lectures you get are recorded. Now, if you need help from a teacher, sometimes they will have office hours over Zoom. So if you have questions for them, they will see if they can help you with whatever you need. And of course, there's tutoring also. So, sorry, I got a notification. So, if you need to do that, of course, you can go to them. But with online courses, all your lectures will be recorded and not in a live setting. And of course, I already explained this, and obviously, remote is a live Zoom session where you interact with the students and the teacher, except it's not in person. It's like the same type of setting that all the schools had to do when COVID hit and the schools shut down. So I'm taking 2 of those types of classes, but particularly the government class was an online class. Now the way that some professors kind of do it in different ways. So you, based on whatever you're learning about, based on whatever chapter, you either can use the textbook or the lecture, but they don't tell you which one would seem more beneficial to you. So in my case, what I was doing was I was just viewing the recorded session of the PowerPoints that this particular teacher was using. So, but I didn't always read the text. So, there was missing points. There was points or information that I missed, so that when I did the quizzes, I didn't do so well on it. But now, after the first quiz, I'm like, oh, I see the problem. I need to do both. So even though I was doing both these strategies, the recorded lecture and the information from the textbook, I still wasn't doing very well. I still wasn't doing very well. So, naturally, I was just a bit frustrated. And, after my second test, I didn't do so well. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to view the lecture and read as much chapters as I can multiple times, because that works for me. The best. So that's what I'm doing. And there's 2 on the quizzes. In my case, particularly, you could take the quizzes. You could have 2 attempts at the quizzes. So, in my case, so you can do 2 attempts at the quizzes. So, I did that, but, even though I read, the sections of the chapter multiple times and viewed the lecture multiple times, I still couldn't seem to keep getting it. And with every test and with every assignment, it just kept getting lower and lower and lower. And, I'm not gonna, say that I expected to get flying colors in the class or get good grades, But the grades I was receiving was like not at all what I was expecting. So like, I was doing an assignment and I went into as much detail as I could think of, and this particular professor gave me a 1 out of 10 points. And I was very shocked by it because they made it seem like, because like a 1 out of 10 score is like, you didn't show, a 1 out of 10 score means like you didn't show like what they were asking like at all. You didn't do that, what they were asking at all. And I made sure that I was, that I did complete what they were asking me to do. Because for me, I'm not saying, well, like, I take school very seriously. Like, you won't see me, like, I do my own thing, and I do take, a break from school, so you won't see me constantly doing things for school, but I take school importantly, so I take school with importance, and so, I really want to try hard, and I really want to do as best as I can, and, like, no matter how hard I was trying, I kept just not doing so well, and, not, just kept, I just didn't do very well, and this frustrated me a lot. So it got to the point this morning where, I did my assignments, and I still, even though I did it was a 10-point quiz, and I got 6 out of 10 on that quiz. And there were 5 questions, and I got 3 out of the 5 questions right. And even though I did okay on that quiz, and I did what I thought was decently okay, my grades still got lower. So, I was already worried because I was already at a C, and then, my grade went down to a D. So, towards the end of it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take an early withdrawal from that class. So that is what I did. So, now I am taking just two classes that, I understand better and I'm doing really well in. But my advice to you guys is, if it's the beginning of a semester in college and you just aren't getting it, or if you feel like you are getting it, but for some reason you can't reach the criteria that a certain professor wants you to reach, don't burn yourself out trying to accomplish that. Because for me, I'm not going to go into detail, but, for me, I have a certain disability that mostly affects me physically and affects my walking abilities, but it can also affect the way I learn. So it affected the way I learn, so I don't learn as fast as everyone else. It doesn't click in my head as fast as everyone else, as it would everyone else. So, just learning for me is already more of a challenge than for other people. I mean, and there are other people, of course, with those same challenges, but, especially for me, having a disability that affects your learning, that can affect your learning, I get burned out more easily than, I guess other people would. Of course, I can't say that this doesn't happen to other people as well, but for me, like, it got to the point where, like, I was like, okay, I can't meet this professor's criteria of what needs to be done, so I need to take an early withdrawal out of that class because, I don't want to burn myself out trying and then end up with a bad grade when the when the midterms and the finals come out. So, of course, the midterms are in October, but my advice to you is if you already feel like you're not doing well in a class, don't be afraid to unenroll from that class. Because even though it's my first year in college, I've got everybody telling me, the worst thing you want to do is wait till you have a midterm or a final to take a withdrawal from that class. So I just decided that, hey, I'm not doing as well as I hoped. So before the midterms and before the final exams, I just decided to take a early unenrollment or an early withdrawal. So long story short, I'm sorry, I know I'm getting off on a tangent. I got off on a tangent. But my advice to you is don't try and burn yourself out when you are trying to complete a class. Because if that class isn't for you, then it isn't for you. And, you just gotta try your absolute hardest. But for me in that class, I was, believe me, I tried my absolute hardest I could, but it just wasn't getting me anywhere. So if you find that you're trying so hard in a specific class, but it's not getting you anywhere with that specific class, don't be afraid to unenroll from the class. And I know that this was a long video, but it was just very frustrating to me, and I just wanted to let you guys know my advice to you as a person going to college. Long story short, my advice to you is just don't burn yourself out when you're trying to do as hard as you can at your college classes, but you find yourself not going anywhere with that. And when I say that, I'm not saying that if you I'm not saying that if you're watching this, you're not smart. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, just don't burn yourself out with the subject that, especially because I hate that. Because for me, I thought I did decently well, but, I wasn't meeting the criteria of the specific professor. So that's very important. So just don't burn yourself out. But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.